VIBErations podcast, episode 57, Jo Lodder. Recorded on Saturday the 26th of January 2026. Hi, I'm Gary Brightman, and this is my periodic podcast called VIBErations. Established in 2018, Vibe is a book and music shop situated in Moi Wo on Lantau Island in Hong Kong. We made January our charity and giving back to the community month. After successfully hosting 80 students from the Chinese International School, we sponsored local entrepreneur Jo Lodder on his run across China. More of that later. We managed to raise nearly $9,000 for Birthday Happiness Asia charity, who give Hong Kong underprivileged children a party day to remember. You can watch the BHA talk that we hosted on our YouTube channel at Live at Vibe HK. We've also donated to the Flock project, which annually adds more bird murals to South Lantau buildings. There are still 3 weeks left in which you can also donate to this charity on the Go Get Funding website. The link is included below. We will also continue to collect for the other two charities, South Lantau Buffalo Society and Team for Animals in Lantau South, Dog and Cat Rescue. You can donate to the buffaloes directly at the shop, and for tails you can donate from their website. The link is attached to this podcast. Our next event at Vibe is a tiny desk gig and sees the return of the talented Filipino musician Iris Pascal. He'll be live at Vibe this Saturday the 7th of February at 2:30. And so, to our guest interview this week. Jo Lodder is an endurance athlete, entrepreneur and speaker shaped by reinvention. A former professional jockey, his career ended after serious injury, forcing him to rebuild from scratch. Since then, he's completed major endurance challenges, including a 3,140-kilometre run across China in 60 days, and won events such as the Oxfam Trail Walker. Today, Jo uses extreme challenge and storytelling to explore resilience, discipline and purpose, and what it really takes to keep going when life doesn't go to plan. So welcome to Vibe, Jo.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Gary. Really looking forward to it.
And as we do, we're going to start off with 10 warm-up questions. First question, favourite book or author?
Yeah, my favourite book that I sort of go-to book is called The Prophet, which I think everybody's heard of. It's one of the most famous books. And I know I've got people to buy from your
You've
shop
got me
here.
to buy it, Jo.
And I've got you to buy it,
yeah.
I got my sons, I've got everybody reading. My parents read it, everything. But the book that I used when I was doing my run across China, I had two, Sherlock Holmes. I listened to nearly the whole of Sherlock Holmes, which is like, I think, 27 hours long or maybe even longer, and P.G. Wodehouse, Jeeves and Wooster, which was really upbeat, and I really enjoyed that, and but I was listening to it, so it was,
Okay, that's interesting, because I was tracking you doing this run, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but I imagined you listening to some sort of rock music or sort of road music.
I didn't listen to it on the run.
Okay.
I listened to it after.
Okay,
so I didn't listen. I had one period of time where I was really in a bad way, and I had to mentally sort things out. So on came Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
And,
okay.
Nice. Yeah, with Stephen Fry's beautiful voice, it's just calming. Takes your mind away from all the pain I was in and the suffering I was going through. So that was amazing. And then Jeeves and Worcester at night, because it's it's like really exciting, and it was just all great fun, and it's beautifully written and beautifully spoken again by Stephen Fry, and so it was and in the morning I turned it on as well to get me going. I did my stretching with it, I did everything. That's how. So I went through hours of Sherlock Holmes and P.G. Wodehouse.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, so you need a quite lengthy series. I
mean, I had two. They're like, I think there's like 100 hours between them.
Brilliant. What about music?
So music's a strange one for me, because I'm not really into anything in particular. I like Eminem, like a lot of us do. I like some of the old artists out there, even like the Beatles and people like that.
Yes.
But I'm kind of, it's very hard for me to specifically put something, but one that I've really kind of jumped onto is Rem.
Okay.
Have you heard of Rem?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I kind of really like his music and what he's talking about and where he's come from, and how his whole story of having Lyme disease and getting through that, and it kind of really really like that.
And favourite films?
Okay, this is a strange one. So, for sentimental reasons, Mulan.
Okay, yeah.
And in fact, I watched it on the plane going home to the UK.
Brilliant.
The reason being is because I used to watch it with my kids in the mornings. It was my thing in the morning. And I probably watched film about 1,000 times. I don't know how many times. But there's other things,
Classic.
you know, like No Country for Old Men. You know, I love that one. Pulp Fiction. Just watched Forrest Gump the other day. I love that. It's got so many different stories in it, which I really enjoyed. So Man on Fire, what a film!
Okay,
So I love films, so it's and I just go through stages where I really enjoy.
All right, do you have a preferred drink?
Probably my favourite is elderflower and fizzy water.
Okay, nice and refreshing.
Go to from Leader Key is Zero Guinness.
Yeah, okay, the classic. Yeah.
I don't drink, as you know, and so
no. This is of interest.
I love this one.
Yeah, life motto.
Yeah.
Do you have a life motto?
I do, and I've got a number of them that I follow. One is my grandfather on his deathbed said to me, "If you die without a story, you failed."
Okay.
So I'm spending my life making sure I've got stories.
Yeah.
This one is from you probably don't know who this guy is. A guy called Dan Eldon. What he put into his short 21, 22 years of his life is just incredible. And his motto was "The journey is the destination," which is I really follow that, because that means don't be thinking about the destination, enjoy the journey, because that's what it is. And then mine is I run for those that can't.
So this is kind of interesting to ask a trail runner and a man who's pretty much covered every inch of Hong Kong many times at speed as well. Do you have a favourite Hong Kong walk?
So I've got many Hong Kong walks that I do love doing. I love going up Tiger's Head. I mean, everyone loves that place. The views are fantastic when you get to the top. I really enjoy the Chima Wan Peninsula.
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah, same as you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the views and the whole aspect of it and the feeling it's quite shaded a lot of the way. And it changes. There's rock formations that are different. And then there's that one halfway you can stand on that rock that sits out and you can see across to that island. And I love that. And then my favourite one, when I'm in Hong Kong, particularly in New Year's, I love going up Lim Fa Shan for sunrise.
Okay, interesting. I mean, that's the mountain that overlooks
where
we live, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's just probably got one of the best views in Hong Kong.
Yeah. What about restaurants? Do you get out?
Well, Novice Kitchen, my wife, has probably one of the best foods.
Indonesian food. Fantastic.
And I'd kind of, if I'm sticking to Lantau, I love Kathmandu.
Okay. Right.
Because they do good vegan food.
Yeah, okay.
And which is something, although the run changed me from being 100% vegan to kind of changing, because I had to change while I was running.
Right.
I just couldn't get the
carbs or
protein to me.
What about the best advice you were given? Is there one thing, or?
I think the one my grandfather gave me: if you die without a story, you failed. I think if you live life, making stories, I don't think you ever look back. So for me, the way I live my life is very clear. There's three things I do.
Okay.
And they're all about making stories.
Right.
So the first thing, I do something big in the year that's going to define that year.
Yes.
So obviously last year was the run.
Yes. Yeah, but which was, for the listeners, Beijing to
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Yeah. Well, it was the Great Wall to Hong Kong.
Great Wall to Hong Kong. Yeah.
So we went from the Great Wall and then ran through Beijing.
Yeah, 3,000 kilometres.
Yeah, so and more. And so that was my defining year. Then I always do kind of 6 maybe to 8 mini adventures a year.
Okay.
So on top of that, so those mini adventures will be with Novi generally, with my kids, or with people that really matter to me. And they're always little adventures that kind of just make that year exciting and stuff like that. And then always learn something in the year. Do something that's going to improve you.
Yeah.
And so those are my 3 things that I look at defining.
That's very structured.
And that's how I look at the rest of it. So do I do New Year's resolutions? No. I follow these these 3 rules. By doing that, you're building stories. You're building adventure. And that's how I want to continue living life.
And that sort of takes me into another area with you, really, because, you know, I've known you for a while and
quite a long time now.
Quite a long time now, yeah. And, you know, seeing what you do and achieve every year, like you say, these major projects, you've got this level of drive about you. Have you always had that drive? As a child, did you have that drive? Is it something that came...
I think I was always sporty as a child. I rode horses. I did. It's hard to know whether I had the drive, but every day I got up and did it. You know, so every day I cleaned my horse out. Every day I rode the horse. Even when it was raining, when it's snowing, whatever happened, I was out there doing it. And I don't think it's more drive. I don't think it's drive.
Okay.
I think all it is just getting up every day and doing something. You know, making... You know,
responsibility
makes that happen. The clockwork. So it's turning up every day. That's what matters. I will sit and watch. I can go back-to-back films and really and have no anxiety about doing it.
Okay.
However, I will generally have done something in the day before I've done that.
You've already achieved
your
goal.
I'm an early riser. I start early. Even today, and I dropped my wife off at the airport late last night. So even this morning, I was still up early and still out and about, and took the dogs for a walk. And I've at the moment I'm doing an intense course on keynote speaking, and I've put my homework in this morning. I've done stuff. I thought, I've got to do this before I come here, so I can enjoy this without feeling, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. So then I go back, and I start again. I've done I've achieved what I needed to achieve, and now this is like a holiday for me.
I'm
really enjoying this. I was excited about coming here, and then when I get back in, I'll start the next thing that I've got in my diary to do. I do diarise everything very clearly, so I put even running. I've started using audiobooks much more than actual books, mainly because I spend so much time running. And then I think, okay, how can I double what I'm doing? So I'm not only running, but I'm learning. So I listen to a lot of self-help books, so a lot of people. So helping me structure me and make it. I'm a very different person now. You knew me when I was a drinker. And I'm a very different person now to when I was a drinker. I was quite happy to spend a day drinking. I didn't feel guilty about it.
No.
Now I couldn't even think about sitting down. And I'm getting better at this, although I'm not always that good. It's just to stop and look around you. Like today I did it. I stopped and looked around me, and I took the dogs out, and I just stopped and looked around and was like,
appreciate what we've got,
and just let things come in. And when you do that, you learn so much.
I live in Hong Kong because
I love it here, especially the Lantau community.
I'd agree with you. Absolutely.
And I'm wholeheartedly in Hong Kong because I moved to Lantau. So I'll tell a little story. So when I first arrived in Hong Kong, 2009, something like that.
I
arrive in Hong Kong. I get a chauffeur pick me up at the airport. Takes me to where I'm staying in Jordan. I go for a walk around Jordan, and I'm blown away by, go to the park, where the flamingos are and all that. Along Nathan Road, Kahlil Park, amazing. Just blown away by the place. And I'm thinking, whoa, this is amazing. The next day, I go, okay, because it was like, I think it was Friday, and work wouldn't be starting till Monday, so I got the weekend. So obviously tourist things, go to Big Buddha. So I managed to find my way to Tung Chung, got on the cable car, went up to Big Buddha, went around Big Buddha, had a really good time. And then thought, I'd get the bus back to Tung Chung. Anyway, I got on the wrong bus, and it brought me to Mui Wu. And so I arrived in Mui Wu, and while I was on the bus, I'd met these Korean teachers. And we'd got chatting, and we ended up in Mui Wu, and they'd done the same thing, got on the wrong bus. So we got here, and we're all hungry, and so we went into the the ferry terminal.
Yes.
And bought some
fish balls.
Yeah,
or
fish
something.
balls. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but I didn't know it was a ferry terminal.
Right.
So because I didn't know, I just
it was
arrived.
Just another building.
It was just another building
by the sea. Yeah.
So we then walk down the old promenade down to the the promenade that sticks out into the sea.
Yes.
And sat there and ate the fish balls.
Yeah.
I remember looking around thinking, this is the best place.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what the name of it was. And so anyway, my boss phoned me up and he goes, Joe, he said, I'd like to invite you for dinner.
Yeah.
And he said, where are you? I said, I have no idea where I am. And I tried to explain it. He had no idea where it was. And I was like, okay. He said, he was in Discovery Bay. Right. And he said, can you come to Discovery Bay? I said, yeah. But I don't know where I am or what I am. So anyway, long and short of it is I ended up getting on a bus that went back to Tung Chung.
Oh, God.
I went back to Tung Chung, went back to Jordan, got changed, went down round to Central and then came back to Ferry to go in.
No.
And all the time I was asking, where was this place?
Yeah.
And of course, what had happened was I hadn't...
Yeah.
And I didn't know where... And I geographically didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
Roll on a few years, I had a boat and things hadn't gone right with the boat. The boat had actually sank because a rat had eaten a hole in the side. Oh, that's a funny story in its own right. And then lived on Lama for a little bit.
Right,
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
Gone to the ferry terminal, looking for somewhere, and I thought I'll just get on this ferry. Ended up here and went, oh, I'm home. I went straight to the estate agents. Okay. And they took me to the only, in those days it wasn't the same as now. There was hardly anything for rent. The only flat available in Wangtong. Yeah. Rented it there and then. Yeah, yeah. And I've been here ever since.
That's amazing. And I've moved
isn't once.
It? Yeah, yeah.
Just next door. I mean, I do the Entrepreneurs at Lantau with Jerome and we've just been talking about that. The people we have on and their stories and where they've come from and how they've got here. Just amazing.
It is amazing, isn't
Incredible.
it? Incredible.
And the passion they have for what they're doing.
Yeah.
I just love it. I mean, and they're all adventurers. Yeah. They're talented. Yeah. Most people are pretty fit now. When I first came here, there was a lot of drinkers, but it's kind of changed the dynamic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now I see a lot more people walking, running. See just much more of a fitness and well-living side of things.
Do you have a favourite area of Hong Kong?
I've just told where my favourite area is. Lim Fa Shan at sunrise.
Yeah. Love it. Okay, perfect. Okay, all right, so we're going to move on a bit now to Jo Lodder, the early years. And so basically, where were you sort of born and brought up? Whereabouts was that?
So I'm from Henley in Arden.
Okay.
And so Lodders has been in Henley in Arden for generations. The house that we live in called Whitley is a big old farmhouse. At one time it's not anymore, but it was the smallest manor house in the UK.
Really? Oh, cool.
It's in the Doomsday Book, so it's like nearly 1,000 years old.
Right.
So which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The old man is Lord of the Manor of Henley in Arden.
Yes.
And so I was brought up on a farm with lots of farmland.
Yeah.
When I say farmland, it was grassland.
Right, okay.
So they always farmed, like when I was a kid, it was pigs, which had nothing to do with the farm. Then as I got older, they had cattle.
Right, okay.
And then they moved on to sheep, which they had until I left. And then,
yeah.
And now pretty much all of them is horses, which my brother's a professional polo player.
Okay.
And he uses Whitley as kind of his summer base, and winter base for his. So he has a lot of kind of youngsters that are there in the winter. They winter there, and then So it's an active farm, although it's not. It's kind of retired now, because
as your parents have.
Well, it was never fully properly farmed because my father's a lawyer, and Lodders have been lawyers for I think this year 250 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so unfortunately my dad retired, and he's the last Lodder to be in the firm, which is quite sad.
It is sad. So are you a disappointment to your dear parents?
I'm definitely the black sheep, and definite slight disappointment. Yeah. But I mean, we've all. I'm one of 5 children.
Yeah.
We've all gone into very different, businesses. I was a jockey. My brother was an accountant. Will, he used to live here. He was at Moore Stevens, for a little while. My sister, firefighter.
Good for her. Good.
Matt
noble.
Was really noble. Matt's a professional polo player, and then my sister, who lives in Zimbabwe, the youngest one, she owns petrol stations.
Good business. Yeah,
it's a tricky one in Zimbabwe, I think. But anyway,
it's gutsy. But
I don't know how I think they might have 8 or 9 now.
Right,
a lot. They're doing quite well. Her and her husband.
Good.
So kind of we're all very different.
Yeah. None of you following into the family business, as it were, but
no, Will was the closest. And it's kind of sad he didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is we all needed to find our own space.
Yeah.
And we were never pushed into it. I don't think Dad ever loved it.
Yeah.
But it was his way. It was his part. He felt he had to go in it. So I don't think he pushed any of us. I mean, the reality is I wasn't. I'm dyslexic. I wasn't clever enough to be a lawyer.
Yes.
And it wasn't anything I really studying.
Yeah, you've really got to go full on for that.
Staying and working for that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I mean, it's that's where we are as a family.
Interesting. Yeah. And of course, I've met your parents here last year, I think.
They're very active.
Yeah. And your sort of your grandparentage, your relationship with the Sitwells.
Yeah, so the Sitwells are on my grandmother on my father's side was a Sitwell.
Right.
And so the likes of Edith Sitwell and she obviously incredible poet.
Yeah.
I think she was the first person to ever do a rap song.
Really?
Yeah. So she
great claim to
she
fame.
did a voice over, I can't remember which one of the British composers.
Okay.
In the 40s, I think. Or 40s, I would say, maybe very early 50s.
Yeah.
It was done.
We should look that one
up. I came across it once, and I was like, "What? Edith Sitwell?" And you can hear her voice because she got this incredible voice.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hear stories about my great grandfather, who I just remember. He was, I'll go into him a little bit because he was an incredible guy. He was keeper of the Crown Jewels. He lived in the Tower of London.
Right.
Yeah. So, but my dad tells the story about how he used to tie Edith's hair to the chair so she couldn't get up, but
it's the sort of thing you do to your brother or sister.
Yeah, that's it. Kind of. I think they're cousins. I think they were. That's
right.
And so Major General Gar Sitwell was my great grandfather.
Right.
He was keeper of the Crown Jewels. Had he not been ill, I can't remember what he had, but he had quite a prominent role in the coronation.
Right.
But unfortunately, he was because he was a prisoner of war. So he was dropped into Indonesia. In fact, when you met my parents here the last time, we were just going on a pilgrimage to Indonesia to kind of follow his footsteps.
Yeah.
So he was the guy in charge of the British and Allied forces in Indonesia.
That's amazing.
And then he was captured by the Japanese. But he was dropped in knowing he was going to get captured.
Yeah,
So the guy who was in charge was taken out and he was dropped in knowing he was going to get captured.
Right, okay. So it's almost like a sacrifice in a way, isn't it?
Totally like a sacrifice. And he knew it, which you've got to go, wow, what a man.
Yeah, exactly. People who lived in those times just so totally different.
Totally different,
Yeah.
And some of the stories he talks about, there's one where he's writing his comments. I don't know what journal, maybe.
Yeah.
And they'd been delivered a load of equipment, tanks, guns, and all kinds of things, all of which had arrived without firing pins.
A little bit dangerous.
Well, the fact that they wouldn't work, you can't shoot anything. So they got all this equipment with no firing pins. You know, the mess ups that caused the mess up.
But that was the difference between life and death, really, in those days.
Well, I mean, and he's got a whole army. He's trying to defend Indonesia, and then he also had the Dutch, and he went in thinking, I'm only going by what I've read, but he went in thinking, the Indonesians would be on their side, but the Indonesians hated the Dutch.
Right.
So
okay.
They didn't quite realise just how cruel the Japanese were going to be.
Yeah.
Because later on, so I've done a tour across Indonesia. First of all, I went to see my great grandfather where he was based, which is in Bandung, and then we did a tour across, and we actually went and met people who were captured under the Japanese, and they were telling us stories. I was with my wife and telling us stories about how, they used to have to live in holes, and how they used to live, and it was terrible. So it was kind of it's kind of been quite an amazing thing, and obviously I've married an Indonesian.
Yeah.
That that I've gone from living in the UK, I moved to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So my other grandfather was one of the people in charge of clearing up after Hiroshima.
Right.
He was in the Navy, stationed in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But his job was to clear up Hiroshima. So I'm based here.
Yeah.
Married an Indonesian. Have a business in Japan. And so it's kind
weird,
of strange, isn't it?
Yeah. And so okay, well, let's go back to. You obviously you grow up on a farm estate, and you then get into horse riding, and the jockey thing followed from your teens, did it? Or
so when I was a kid, it was my mum. She's really into encouraging us to ride horses. It was her passion. And so she kind of brought us into it, which was amazing, and. We rode as kids. We did, we did pony club, and we did all the events. And as a child, I loved it. I mean, you don't do it unless you love it.
No.
It's not something you can be forced to do. And so, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the competition. I enjoyed all the, the people who were in the pony club. It was great fun. It's a really incredible thing, and once a year they have a camp, and that was good fun.
Right.
I've made lasting friendships and stuff from that, and so and I competed to a pretty high level as well. I did a thing called pentathlon, which is shooting, swimming, riding, running, and fencing. And then there's another one called tetrathlon, which is the 4 events as well. So I did those, and I competed pretty high up on that.
Okay.
And then also, and it was great fun. My parents we go around the countryside, and we go from one place to another to competitions. And you just meet so many different people. And it's just great fun.
Yeah, sociable as well as competitive. Ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, it was really good, and the parents loved it as well. And then also I did a thing called eventing, which was where you 3-day event. Well, no, eventing because it was over one day, but you do cross country. It's all on horseback. You do dressage first, then you do cross country, then show jumping.
Right.
And again, I did quite well. I think I finished 3rd in the nationals in that and stuff. But the thing is, all very expensive.
Yeah.
And I was very conscious of that, and I was the eldest of 5. Everyone else rode horses. Everybody else liked doing it.
Yeah.
And so I was very conscious of that, and also for some reason I just wanted to get out there.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was.
Yeah.
I really just wanted to get out there and see what the world was like. And so at a very early age, I was offered a job at a place, a guy called Captain Radcliffe, and what he did was he used to train horses. So he'd either break them, so we say break them, but it's like you get youngsters and teach them to be ridden. Or he taught them to jump better. So some horses didn't jump properly, so they'd be sent to him.
Yeah.
And we had the Queen Mothers, the Queen, Prince Charles's horses, all at his place. In fact, his wife was related to the Queen Mother. Okay. We used to see the Queen Mother all the time.
Really?
She used to come round all the time.
Nice.
She's a lovely woman.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, actually all the royal family are super lovely.
Yeah.
Through my life, I've been very lucky to meet them. Not in a, you know, like a so much social basis, but I've met them all through life, and they've all been all been super lovely.
Yeah,
and normal people. I've got some quite funny stories as well. Yeah. And so that kind of started me in the racing world, and that was the next stage was then I got offered a job at a guy called Frank Jordan's, who was based up in Herefordshire, and I just, all things are lucky, you know, like
timing,
and I went to ride there. At the time, his stable jockey was just getting a bit older, and there was a few what we call conditionals, which are like apprentices who were there, and he put me under one of those, but I wasn't on the top. Right. I was lower down, but the guy who was above me, he struggled with his weight.
Right. Okay.
And one day he just handed in his license. He said, "I can't do it. I can't do my weight anymore."
Yeah.
And literally the next day, someone came in the yard and said, "I'm looking for a jockey."
Right.
And because I was next in line, I got the job and I got the ride.
Yeah.
So that was my first ride. And then
what year are we in now? Roughly
87, 88.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then this other yard were looking for a jockey, and this yard was kind of like this guy was like a cowboy. His name was Ken Wingrove. He had something like 25 children. This guy was nuts. I'm not kidding. No, but you go to his yard and the place was just full of kids everywhere.
Yeah.
He had loads of different women. It was just like a nuts thing. But he was an amazing horseman.
Okay.
And he was renowned for getting. He never paid any money for a horse. He'd always take a horse that had a problem, like had a bad leg or something.
Okay.
And no one else could fix it, and he would fix it.
Right.
And so actually the year I got to ride for this guy, and I remember the first time he put me on a horse. I'd never had a horse run off with me, and this horse just ran off me. And he told me to go once around the field and jump a couple of fences. And I went like 10 times around the field. And he come back and he said, if you had enough of a go on that horse, you think you're okay? And I was like, fuck, I couldn't stop it. And anyway, he said, he goes to me, okay, you can ride that next week. And so we got into the lorry because in those days, I don't think I even had a driving license in those days.
No.
So I got a lift with him in the lorry. So we're going on the way to the races. And he said, so how many rides have you had? And I said, 1. He goes, what? 1? And he said, I thought you'd been riding for ages. And I go, no, I've had 1 ride. And he goes, oh my God. Anyway, we got to the races, and I was riding this horse called Sterling Virtue, and we just took it up to go and win, and I fell off it, didn't I?
Right.
Anyway, he was very kind, and he said, okay, don't do that again, but we'll put you up next time. And we went up to Kahlil to Catterick, sorry, and I won on it next time by 20 lengths.
What?
So
that's a serious
win.
Yeah.
So that was the start of my racing career because of Ken Wingrove, because he gave me a chance. Although he thought I was way more experienced than I was.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And also,
he saw something in
the
you.
first time I went to the fence at the races was the first time I jumped a fence.
Wow.
So you've got hurdles and you've got fences,
Those
which are the big one. I'd never been over a big fence.
2 meters high, something like that, perhaps?
Well, it was big as me anyway.
Yeah. So, wow. Okay, so what age are you then? Sort of
so
late teens,
I'm
early
18
20s?
years old, 17, 18, yeah.
So then that kind of started your career.
And that year, actually, I rode like 11 or 12 winners, which was
that's fantastic.
Like in half a year. Yeah, it was really like
prolific.
I hit the thing, and then the next year, I mean, what's interesting is because of this run, and because I was in the UK, I got contacted by a lot of racing people. And then I've gone back and looked at a lot of... Because I lost all of my racing memorabilia. through various reasons, floods and different things. I've lost it all. So I've kind of been looking back at it, and people have been reminding me.
Yeah.
And I realised that I was really in contention in the second year to win the conditional jockey's title, which is the apprenticeship title.
Right.
But unfortunately, so by January, February of that year, I was in contention, and then I got injured, and then unfortunately, I think I finished fourth in the end or third. I can't remember, but
still not too shabby,
but it was still not too shabby.
Yeah,
but it was you know, I was very, very lucky. I hit the ground really running.
And
became quite a big player.
Straight away.
But then I had all my luck early on disappeared. I had a lot of injuries and different problems. So, and then the yard I rode for had lots of the horses had lots of illness. They call it a virus, and they just couldn't get rid of the virus, and it kind of injury at the same time caused me problems. And
so how long sort of in terms of were you a jockey at a sort of competitive level?
So I rode for like 10 years.
10 years.
I went to France.
Okay.
I rode for the champion trainer in France, a guy called Jacques Orte. So I arrived in France, spoke no French. I remember they put me in this in France. It's different to the UK. In France, it's much more like Hong Kong, where everybody trains together on the same place.
Okay.
And they all train together, and then everybody kind of lives together as well.
Right.
And so I remember opening the door to because at the time I just arrived. They put me in these kind of these, I don't know, dorm.
Yes, yeah. Dorms.
And so you got a little apartment. So I remember opening the door and just hearing in the morning at like 5:30. No idea where my yard was, no idea what I was going, and I had to find my way. No one spoke any English. I just remember turning up at the yard, and then I literally immediately got rides. But I didn't understand anything. I was riding out with a translation book. I'd be talking, and then because we didn't have phones then, and I had a little book, and I for years I kept it. It was taped up and everything. It was like a learn French in like 10 days or something, and I was just all the time using it. And then my friends, when we were riding out, they'd be reading it to try and talk back, and it was we did that for years, and well, not for years, but I actually, although I've forgotten most of it, I do understand French. I actually got to the stage where I dreamt in French.
Really? So
yeah, because I was there 2 years, and
because you're immersed in it.
Everybody, no one spoke English. Everybody, and I got to ride horses that I'd never. The quality of horses I rode in France was way higher than I rode in the UK.
Right. So that took you to another level, really, didn't it?
Well, it did, but it didn't. I unfortunately, what happened, that's the first stage where alcohol started affecting my life.
Yeah, okay.
And that's where I physically messed my career up. Right. First started with using alcohol.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But you're in your early 20s?
Yeah, but there's no excuse. I'm riding for the #1 trainer in France. Yeah. I'm kind of like second jockey. Right. I've been given a really amazing opportunity. Yeah. And I start drinking, going out all night. And the problem for me is I don't stop.
Yeah,
okay. I keep going. And I go.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's not...
you don't have an off switch.
Don't have an off switch. So I remember waking up. I remember one day waking up, and I've got horses around me. I'm looking around me, and I can clearly remember this. And I'm being interviewed by the press. I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on? And then after the press have gone, I'm talking to someone, and they go, I said, what time is it? And they go, it's 11 o'clock. How many lots have we done? We've done 3 lots, which meant, so every lot, I'd probably ride to school about 5 or 6 horses. So because this yard had 120 horses. Right. So I'd probably have schooled 5 or 6 horses.
So you'd already been working for a number of hours.
I'd already ridden out 3 lots.
Without knowing.
Without knowing.
Yeah, that gets a bit scary then, doesn't it? When you're starting to get some form.
And no one had noticed I was drunk. Well, they must have. Someone must have done.
Yeah.
But they kept. I'd scored all these. I'd functioning.
Yeah. You were doing it on sort of overdrive, and yeah. Then that's a sign, then, isn't it? That's a worry. And then,
I didn't think about it because I just managed to do it. But that's one of the memories. I was being interviewed by the press.
Yeah, that's how you kind of suddenly came to your senses.
Well, I just suddenly. Yeah. I remember just thinking, where am I? I remember that I can still see it now. Yeah. I can see where I am, where it was. And I'd ridden 3 lots out.
That's incredible.
I'd probably ridden 15 horses.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that's impressive. Well, it's not impressive, but it shows you the power of what you're doing in terms of
it's the power of
muscle
memory and everything.
You can do things on overdrive. Okay, so there you are. You're in France. At what point does that change?
I had a daughter in the UK. And so what happened was I was invited. The yard I used to ride for asked me to come back to the UK to ride a few horses for them. Yeah, which I used to do because you could do that. And I flew back, and I had a few rides, and they won. And I kind of thought, I'm missing out on my daughter. And do I want to be in France? I kind of sort of knew it was a bad thing to me to continue because I was you were living so much. Life. I was living this really, I was doing well. Yeah. But I should have been doing really, really well. Yeah. But I kind of knew, and so I decided to stay in the UK. Yeah. I got this job. I got a job with another trainer, so I actually had quite a good base. Going back to the UK. Yeah. It was like a reboot, and things started going well, really well actually. Getting a lot of rides, doing really well. It was kind of like, I came back, hit the ground running, really good. And then I rode a 4-timer at Huntingdon, which is amazing. Right. Just got beat by Shorthead on the 5th one. And so that was all big news because not so many people ride 4-timers. It's quite a big thing. And then, unfortunately, injury came.
Right. Yeah.
And this is where. So I had a fall. So there's a lot of issues here because I think I hit my head, and so I did my back and my head. I didn't know at the time. There's a lot I've forgotten.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That I can't remember.
Right, okay.
And I'm looking back and reading about it now, and I'm starting to remember.
Put things together,
okay. So I had a fall, which didn't stop me continuing to ride. Yeah. And I rode a horse, I can't remember its name, but I rode it at Hereford, and it was a big 17-2 horse. Beautiful horse, but it just couldn't, it was in its first time over hurdles, and it just didn't jump very well. Yeah. And it kept, what we do, it's called stepping. Right. And so as it runs up, it steps at the hurdle and it catches it. And every time you imagine it steps, you hold on to it like that. Right. And it was pulling on me. Yeah. And so going to the last, I could feel I was in quite a lot of pain. Stepped to the last, but I was in contention. Yeah. So I couldn't stop racing. Yeah, if it had been out the back, I'd have pulled it up. But I kept, anyway, going up the run-in, there was something going up the run-in. It tried to duck out. Right. Anyway, we finished 3rd, which was great. It had actually run really, really well. Gone into the parade ring, and I literally could hardly undo the saddle. And you've got to go and weigh in before it's legally allowed. So I weighed in. I knew there was a problem. I cancelled all the rest of my rides. And I went home, and I thought, okay, I've got to sort myself out, give it some rest. Yeah. I didn't go to the doctors or anything. You just don't do that kind of thing. In those days, it was very different. Okay. Now you go to a physio, an osteopath, or you go and get checked out. But in those days, you just got an ice bucket or something, or a sponge. The sponge you used to put on. The magic sponge. And so I did that, and then I was due to come back and ride. So I booked a load of rides at Southall, and so I think I took a week off maybe. And I came back to ride out just to make sure I was okay. Yeah. Coming up the gallop, I knew something was wrong. Right. Now, bearing in mind that I've ridden with broken ribs, broken ankles, broken arms. Right. One time I broke my leg, and I'm walking up beside the doctor to pass the medical, and he goes, "Hey, yeah, you're okay." And then he said, "Just walk back." And as I walked back, you could hear, and he goes, "Joe," I said, "What? You've broken your leg." And I go, "No, I haven't. I'm fine." And he goes, "Joe, you've broken your leg. You're going to hospital." And so that's the power of what we could do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm walking.
The
sound.
adrenaline's still
No,
there.
this was so I could pass the doctors.
Oh, right.
I
okay,
walked sound with a broken leg. but he took me to. He heard it. He could hear it clicking.
Get back here.
Anyway, so bearing in mind that that's the kind of thing I went through.
Yes.
For me not to ride,
it was
I
quite
knew
major.
something was major.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't go to the doctors. My parents were up in Scotland. I decided to go up to see them with my wife and our youngest. When we got there, we arrived. We've got friends who are staying there. They're going, "Joe, have you heard the news?" And I was like, "No, what's the news?" He said, "A jockey's been killed." I'm like, "Oh my God." In those days, we're up in Scotland. There's no phones and stuff. And I go, "Well," and I jumped in the car and went to the local news agents to get the newspaper.
Yeah.
Got the newspaper, look at it, and there's my friend Richard Davis who'd been killed. He'd hit the first fence and fallen and crushed him. And there's certain circumstances. There should be 2 ambulances at the race course. There was only 1. There's certain things that were messed up. Anyway, he didn't get to hospital in time and stuff. Anyway, he died, and he was riding the horse that I should have been riding.
Oh my God.
So I look at that and then I think, one of the things I think about is, okay, at the time I didn't know that I'd broken my back, but I knew there was a problem. But I didn't ride because I knew there was a problem.
There was a problem.
Someone was looking at, and then he got killed. But like people said, if you'd ridden the horse, maybe it wouldn't have happened. But you know, anyway,
know that.
No. And then later, so after I'd been in Scotland, I went down and the jockey club, the jockey club sent me to get tests, and then they came back and I'd got a fracture. I literally got a hole all the way down through my spine, kind of through the lower part of my spine.
Oh my God.
It's kind of like a compression hole.
I
don't quite understand what it was.
Yeah.
But they just took my license off me.
Okay, so that's...
Yeah, I remember walking out from
game
the doctor,
over,
game over, and I'm like, what the hell do I do?
Is it game over forever? You knew that at the time,
well, they took my license off me,
And then, to get it back is not a thing.
In those days, no, but I think now it would have been, you could have gone 18 months and you'd have been okay. You got it back. But the other thing is, it wasn't like I was wealthy or anything. I had to go out and earn some money or do something. So, I walk out the door and I'm thinking, what the hell do I do?
What have you got now? Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah, you've got nothing.
I don't know anything outside of it. I could hardly read or write.
Wow.
I'm dyslexic. I couldn't use a computer. So
How old were you then?
26, 27 maybe.
That's young, isn't it?
Got 2 kids, or maybe even another one on the way. I can't remember, but
Yeah, that's.
You've got to start again.
That's life changing, and that's a major blow, isn't it?
But it kind of puts you in. You're back against the wall, and you have to do something.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was I went on a computer course, how to use a computer. And I learned to start doing that, and
so things changed from there. So what did you then do? How did you?
So I started.
progress
So
there?
I didn't know what to do, and I kind of thought I wasn't employable. And I knew that I didn't want to stay in racing. Because
it's all or nothing.
It's
really.
all or nothing.
Either
But I could have gone as an assistant trainer or something like that. And maybe I should have, looking back on it, but I didn't. And so I started doing after dinner speaking, and I was quite good at it. And started building a business, and I got paid quite well for it. But I knew my shelf life was short because I wasn't a famous jockey. I had a period of time where people would employ me, but then it would drop down, and so I knew that. So then I started building an events company, and then kind of built from there. And that went on, and then quite a few years later, a company called Harris Associates took it over, and then I worked for them for a year, and then when that finished, I moved on I went to Spain
to the next thing. Yeah. So that's the sort of Jo Lodder, the early years. I like, there's some good stories in there. I'm sure there's many more.
There's a lot
that we can probably explore sometime, actually. So let's fast forward a little bit to what was the thing that precipitated you to coming to Hong Kong? Why Hong Kong?
So I was living in Spain, gone through 2 shitty divorces.
Right,
and I'd had an amazing time in Spain selling property. It had been a really great fun. Yeah. Really enjoyed doing it.
They must have been the sort of heyday years, because Spanish properties,
coming
sort of
a
90s.
Little bit of heyday coming off the back of it.
Yeah.
But I was different to a lot of people when they were there. They were selling off-plan property, whereas I focused on selling a property that someone could use, people could use. So I sold a lot. I was I'm meaning a lot of properties. Millions and millions of euros worth. But everybody got a key, and they got the property that they wanted. I never sold anything off plan. It wasn't something I enjoyed doing. But I sold some massive villas and stuff. So people, these incredible villas in Spain, and every year they go on holiday, they do stuff there. And it's the divorce. My last divorce had kind of knocked me a bit, and the recession had knocked me. I tried to expand too quickly in Spain. I bought too many properties. Got into too much debt.
Right.
And luckily I'd got out of it, sold what I got, but I was in a position where I remember very clearly I'm working with this company trying to help them build, and I get a phone call from a friend of mine. And she says to me, "Joe, come and meet me for a coffee. I've got something to tell you." And I was like, "Okay." So just round the corner is a coffee. She comes there, and she's really excited, really bubbling. She said, "I'm going to move to Hong Kong." I was like, "Hong Kong? Wow." And I thought, you know what? Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I like that idea. 2 weeks later, I'm here.
Really? Wow. That's impressive.
I made the decision, made the thing. And I came to work for a guy called Brian Lunt, who lives in DB.
Right.
Long and short of it, the job didn't work. Not because of either of us. He just brought me in too early. For what I do. But we stayed friends. And so we're still friends to this day.
Okay.
Through COVID, he would walk over, I'd walk over to him. We actually helped each other a lot in changing how we do things. And we were still buddies. The project he brought me over for, which is the Beach Samui, is one of the best small boutique hotels in Koh Samui. It's just amazing. But when I came over, it was just a plot of land with a boat on it. Now it's a beautiful hotel. It's doing really well. It's the only properly licensed medical marijuana hotel in Koh Samui. And he does, and it's beautiful. It's right on the beach. It's very boutique, but really nicely done. And, so he brought me over. We're still buddies. I love him to bits, and he's one of the guys who gave me a really good saying. He said, "Don't be I did person, to be a I'm doing person." It's one of the reasons I am who I am, because of what he said.
So that's another thing that's kind of pushed you.
So he said, I remember him saying, I'd gone over, I was in DB, and I'm telling a story, and he told me that he said that to me, and it really hit me.
It's the right thing.
Stop looking back, start looking forwards. I stopped racing. I had to do something else, and from that, something came out of it. When I stopped doing that, I moved to Spain, kind of as a retirement, not retirement, but I wasn't going there as a, I wasn't in a position where I had to be having my business and stuff. So, but then things happened when I was there that put me in a position where I had to do something. And so, I bought a property, renovated it, bought some few properties. So it was quite natural for me to go into property at that point. And then so I got into property. Then I came to Hong Kong. I'm still in property.
Yes.
And it's only I'm still in property now. It's not that I'm out of property, but I'm just looking at so many other things now. And so, so really, the next big key change for me is COVID.
Right. Yes.
And I think that happens to a lot of us.
Yeah.
So COVID for me was, shit, I'm 88 kilos.
Yeah.
I'm probably an alcoholic. I need to change my life.
Yeah.
I'm going to be dead by the time I'm 50, 60.
Yeah.
Well, I was 50, so I'm going to be dead by the time I'm 60 if I continue this way.
Yeah.
I'd seen 2 of my cousins die from alcohol.
Right.
I'd seen the effect alcohol has had with my mum, with my father, and then I'd seen how it had changed when she stopped drinking.
Yeah.
So my father went from hating her to loving her.
Yeah.
Just because she stopped drinking.
Yeah.
And I saw that I needed to make a difference and do something different.
Yeah.
And so I remember clearly I'm walking up, I'm actually going up Sunset, but a back route up Sunset. And I'm walking up there listening to a podcast, and it was about this lady who'd gone to Nepal to find herself.
Right.
And, you know, you don't find yourself from meditating. You don't find yourself from, going on doing yoga retreats. You find yourself from having purpose.
Yes.
You know, when you have a purpose that you totally believe in, that's when you find yourself.
Yeah.
And so this woman had gone on this retreat, and she was kind of disappointed, and she's about to go home.
Right.
And then she comes across these two kids on the street,
Yeah.
orphan kids on the street. And she sort of picks them up, tries to find someone to look after them, but of course it's Nepal, no one gives a damn.
Yeah.
And so she literally sets up an orphanage there and then. She doesn't go home, she sets it up there and then, never leaves Nepal, still going to this day. And obviously, and I'm listening to all the people she's helped.
Yeah.
All these people that she's done something for.
Yeah.
And they are who they are because of this one lady. And I'm thinking, and why? Because she saw these two kids, and she took action, and she did it there and then.
Yeah, she made a difference.
She made straight away. She didn't think about it.
Yeah,
and she just did it. And there she got a purpose.
Yeah,
there she found herself.
Yeah.
So I'm going up the hill, and I'm thinking exactly this. I'm thinking I've got to do something similar.
Yeah.
So what I did was I'd seen on Facebook that Archeden needed some help.
Yes.
You know, they had no students coming up, they had no money coming in.
Yes.
You know, they still, and they put something out there.
Yeah.
So if they put something on Facebook that they needed help because,
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'm going to walk around Lantau.
Yeah.
And now I run around Lantau.
Yeah.
It's it's not,
Yeah.
although at the moment I might find it difficult, but it's
Yeah.
not that difficult a thing.
No,
But
no.
at the time for me, it was massive.
Yeah.
And then, so I just went, okay, so this was a Thursday. I come down off the mountain. I'm bumping to Angus.
Right.
I see to Angus, who's the son of Jenny, who owns Archeden.
Yeah.
Can I walk round and try and raise some money? He goes, oh, great idea. We'll have a party at the end. So I go, okay, we'll do it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So this is Thursday. So I have Friday. I've got to go and find the gear. I hadn't got anything because I hadn't done anything. I'm 88 kilos.
Yeah.
And so and been drinking a lot.
Just a drunk.
Just a drunk.
Kilos, yeah.
So I go to the sports shop that used to be here. I go in and ask them. They give me some stuff to take with me. Yeah. Anyway, next day off I go at like 3 a.m. in the morning and start hiking around. Oh my God! I remember the blisters I got. Because I got the wrong shoes on, It was also during COVID, so there was no shops open.
Yeah.
So I had to carry everything with me, all the water, everything. Anyway, I did it, got back, and we raised over 30k, which was just
incredible.
In just
30K.
that. And it's the Lantau community for you.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Lantau. You know, amazing. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
When I was my run,
the
people came to see me at the finish. So many from Lantau came. It was just so nice to see, just incredible. We look
Friendly
after each other. It's like really amazing. And so from there, that was the point where I kind of thought, right, okay, I've got to relook at what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah.
I've got to readjust, and that's where things started changing for me.
Yeah, right.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. What have you achieved in the last 5 years in terms of runs and charities? Can you kind of summarise that briefly? I know you've done a lot.
So I've done the two main things that that are big, I suppose. I did the 5 and 5 trails, which is, we've all seen the 4 trails, but it's another trail, another 100 kilometres.
So just to give a perspective, so there's a film made of the 4 trails, which is 4 days.
No, it's a continuous. It's under 72 hours.
Under 72 hours. There's a film out which well recommend to see. Shows the beauty of Hong Kong. So you've gone one step further than that and done the 5 trails. How many kilometres?
So that's just shy of 400 kilometres.
400 kilometres.
And then with just shy of 20,000 metres of elevation. To give some perspective, the 20,000 metres of elevation it's like 2.5 times up Everest, isn't it?
More or less continually, aren't you? Over
so I did that over 5 days.
5
so
days,
I slept at night. So it was. So it's not as hard as the 4 trails.
Yeah.
But no one else had done it before.
No one had done
it. And also, don't forget, we're looking at. I'd only been running for a little while. Yeah. You know, so it wasn't like I was an experienced runner.
Yeah.
The first 3 trails I'd completed, and it was all good. I was on the Macquahose, and I got to 40k, and just everything fell apart for me.
Yeah.
And the next 10k was just a nightmare, and I just had to get to Shatin Pass, which is kind of where the halfway point is.
Right.
And that's where I was going to get more food and stuff like that. But what was when I got there, like I'm done. Number of issues. I only had a certain amount of time to get to the end because I had to do it within the 24-hour period.
Yeah.
So I only had I can't remember the time period, but I think it was like 8 hours or something to get to the last 50k. My legs were my right knee was bad. My energy had gone. Anyway, I'm sat talking to these guys next to me, and they said, well, "What are you doing?" Because they saw the Run for Freedom, and I was like, "I'm running to help people who are disabled."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, that's really cool. And what do you need?" I said, I need some rice, man. I need some real rice."
Yeah.
And because what we're doing is the run was kind of self-supported, so I only got food from places that I could buy food from.
Right.
So it wasn't being supplied for me by a team.
Yeah.
And so they went, "Oh, let me see what we can do." And so they went to the store at Shatin Pass. And for anyone who doesn't know, there's this famous store at Shatin Pass, and it's where the Macquahose and the Wilson cross.
Right.
So 2 days before I'd done the Wilson, and it had been closed.
Yeah.
I was like really needed a drink, but it had been closed.
Yeah. And
so I was like disappointed, but this time it was open. And anyway, I've got my head between my legs. It's really hot as well. Anyway, the woman comes out, and she's got this massive plate of fried rice, which totally changed my day, changed everything. I ate that, and I felt a different man.
Yeah.
And also for you to understand, these guys don't do food. You can get noodles, but nothing else.
Yeah.
But they'd gone out of their way and made this for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I ended up completing, and I got to the end of the Macquahose within the time, and then completed the 5 trails solely because of those. Roll on a year, I went to see them.
Yeah.
And I'd been past and seen, but I hadn't really stopped, and went in, and I said to the woman, "Do you remember me?" And she said, "Of course I remember you." I said, "You saved my life. I just want to explain." And we went on and raised a lot of money for people who are disabled. And as I said that, I looked across, and there was her granddaughter, and you could see that she was Down syndrome.
Right.
And we helped 2 charities that help Down syndrome people.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of amazing.
And she didn't know that at the time.
She didn't know it. No,
it's just
she didn't know
one of
it.
Those things that kind of
she didn't know it.
The universe throws up, isn't it?
Amazing.
So let's just talk briefly about the charities that you've chosen. So there's the wheelchair disabled.
So we have originally when I did the charities, the running before for charities, I wasn't involved in any charity. So I worked with a charity called First Steps Association, and they help people repair their wheelchairs for free. They help with new wheelchairs or rehabilitated wheelchairs. And they also have a home service looking after people at home and stuff, a number of things like that. They're a fantastic charity, real grassroots, don't have much money, all of it goes into it, and it was incredible. And now I'm part of a charity which is called Action Asia Foundation. I'm a director of it.
Yeah.
And what our aim is to do is to work with other charities.
Yeah.
So that an individual who is disabled can get access to anything that they need that relates to that disability.
Yeah.
Whether that's a new wheelchair, whether that's it being repaired, or mental health, or partner's mental health, or sport, or and one of the things that I'm really keen to do this year, and we have already started doing, is helping people with disability get out and see the views that we get to see.
Right.
So we've done 2 trips up to the peak,
like that,
which is amazing. We took these guys up, and it just shows how how we're just so used to having these amazing views.
Yeah, we can just do it.
Yeah, I mean, we just go, but it's not just we do it.
Yeah.
And so we see these beautiful views all the time. These guys, we start going round the peak, and suddenly they stop, and I say, come on, quick, we've got to keep up with the others. And you just see their faces, and they've just seen the view for the first time, from the peak.
Across Hong Kong.
Across Hong Kong. And then I say to them, it's amazing, isn't it? And they all go, this is the first view we've ever seen.
So it's just heartbreaking to hear in a way.
But just also loving to see, fantastic.
Yeah.
So what we want to do going forwards is what we're looking to do is do much more of that.
Yeah.
So we want to, there's so many places in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is not so bad for, even here, the beach here.
Yeah.
I don't know, remember I did a party on the beach.
The Silver Mine Bay beach.
Yeah, so it's all, it's one of the, it's so disabled accessible.
Yes.
I did a party. Do you remember when I had all the people with the disabled people come here?
Yeah.
Just that, and they're sitting up at the top, looking across at the sea.
Yeah.
They're having some drinks and some food up there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, there's a number of things. One, accessibility of getting there.
Yeah.
Often they, people just, they don't know how to get, they don't know how to do it. They can't do it on their own. They need some help.
Yeah.
And all these kinds. So or they don't even know that it exists. So what we're going to do is we're going to start doing more of these kind of events, which are quite cool.
Right.
And we'll partner. So what we'll do is partner with other charities to make this help make this happen. And we're kind of, what we're kind of doing is we're kind of being a conduit to other charities.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the charities disabled and anybody under 18 years old, we help access to sport, activities, and to help mental health and all that kind of things.
Yeah.
So that's what the charity does. It's kind of a little bit strange to have the two under it. But that's literally what its remit is.
Yeah.
And so that's why the run was so good, because we could do this. We did the students with us. We helped them with us.
Funds
and then funds were raised, we're going to go and do these other things. And we've done a number. It's not whilst we were running, we were doing them.
Yes.
So we're kind of going to be doing more of that going forwards. We learned so much from the run that we feel we can do the same. We can emulate what we did in the run and shrink it to like a week or 5 days.
Right. Okay.
Because whilst we were doing the run, they were running with us.
Is this the run from Beijing?
Beijing
from the Great Wall.
Yeah. So while they were running with us, they also had schoolwork. They also had their exams.
Yeah.
They did everything, and they also were seeing the cultural side of China as well. So, but we can cram that into 5 days.
Okay.
And so we're going to do 3 of those, kind of at the back end of the year.
Okay.
For other students who have got
students in Hong Kong.
They're all in Hong Kong, but it could be a mainland student.
Yeah.
But they're at school in Hong Kong.
Okay.
And they're all kids with issues. They've got confidence issues, self-esteem issues.
Yes.
Some of them might have autism. So
yeah,
they're students that what we're doing is using sport to build their confidence to help them learn.
Yeah.
That's what the aim is.
And
I'm working with Tayo School with that, with Buddhist Fat Ho College there.
Okay.
And so ultimately they're doing all the work. I'm just going on for the ride.
You're being the conduit and you're being the driver for it. And
partial driver. You've got John Fan who lives here as well.
Okay.
he's so passionate and amazing. He's the guy that's really driving all of this, along with Principal Eric, and I'm just part of representing the Guilo side, I suppose.
Okay, well, that's fair. I mean, you need both sides, really, don't you, ideally? So, okay, so that's a bit about the charities. I'll put the links in after this. I mean, just to kind of wrap up, really, you spent last year planning and then Great Wall of China to Hong Kong. You achieved an amazing achievement, over 3,000 kilometres, running 60 days, was it?
So we did 3,140 kilometres over 60 days, averaging around 52 a day. But the way we worked, it was that we ran 60 a day and then we had rest days. The rest days weren't always rest days, because there was a few days we actually went up mountains. And so we went up Mount Tai, which is a beautiful, highly recommend. Yellow Mountain, don't go to the tourist bit of Yellow Mountain, but there's some amazing places in Yellow Mountain, and that was 5 days of running through mountains. So those were 2 days, although they were rest days. We we actually did some did some stuff on there.
Just out of interest on that then, so I'd followed you on Facebook, and on Instagram you were posting every day. Is there any plans to put that together as a video of a...
Good question. Good question. So on the 13th of March we're going to do an event at Olympian City, the plaza, right in the middle. There'll be I think there's around 300 seats. So we're going to do a behind the scenes video, and also there will be a preview of the actual documentary. So we've got a whole documentary, Run China Run, it's called. That won't be out for a year at least.
It
takes a lot of editing. It's being edited as we speak, but it's going to take a while. That's kind of really exciting. That's the next phase of things that we're working on. But we are doing an event where there's going to be behind the scenes. All the footage behind the scenes, we'll make it into a kind of a video. Which I think will be really cool to see. I'd love to see it, because I kind of missed half of it because I was in a daze.
You were in
that's being. I literally had a call last week about putting it together. So we're going to show that, and we'll be inviting everybody to it.
Okay.
And we'll have some speakers there. And also it will be raised, we'll be using it as a form to raise some money for the charity. I've been planning quite a few different things. I think this year, if you notice with what I do, my running, I tend to give a year break before a big thing. But there'll be something that I'll do this year that's kind of smaller. My next thing, I think, will have some form of swimming in it.
Okay.
Some sea swimming, which the reason being is because I'm super frightened of it.
So
I kind of feel that's kind of what I'm looking at and what I'm doing. I mean, for me personally, I'm at the moment I'm just learning how to be a keynote speaker. I've done quite a lot of keynote talks and realised that I'm not got it quite right. And so I'm learning how to be better at that and kind of get myself out there on that. The other thing I learned was going away, or already knew, that I want to spend more time with my family. So I'm going to start working my life around making sure that I do that.
You're really not afraid to get out of your comfort zone, are you, Joe? I mean,
I am afraid. Super afraid.
Okay. But so maybe that's the driver. Maybe it's the motivation.
So when I'm super afraid of it, and don't think I don't have to work my way up to it. It's not something I go, I'll just do that. I'm frightened, and I'm frightened. But that fear makes me want to do it.
Okay, well, it just remains for me to say, Jo Lodder, thanks a lot for coming along today.
No, thank you so much, Gary. And I really enjoy being on this, and thanks so much for letting me talk.
You can listen to all our VIBErations podcasts published on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Amazon Music, TuneIn and Alexa, SoundCloud and many other platforms. Or you can watch on our YouTube channel under Live at VibeHK, or follow the links from my website at vibehk.com. The opening and closing music comes from Celestial and is called Green Island Dub and is on the Retrospect vinyl album. Finally, a reminder that Vibe is open 6 days a week from Tuesday to Sunday, 12 noon until approximately 6:30 p.m. Thanks for listening to the 57th Vibe Book and Music Shop podcast called VIBErations. I'm Gary Brightman. You get my vibe?
Can you imagine what this old island must have looked like to those Dutch sailors when they first saw it? Fresh green. Like a dream of a new world.
They must have held their breath. Afraid it would disappear before they could touch it.